The wind howled like a living beast that morning. Snow fell in thick, angry sheets, turning the world into a blur of white and gray. Most kids took cover, heads down and coats zipped high. But not Alina. She stood alone at the edge of the school parking lot, hugging her threadbare coat tight against her tiny frame. Her boots were 2 sizes too small, and the cuffs of her sleeves were frayed from years of hand-me-down wear. She didn't speak much, didn't have the right clothes or the right phone, and her lunchbox was often empty. That made her a target. It started out like any other miserable winter morning, but today would be different. Today the world would see what happens when you push someone too far. Alina's family had lost everything a year ago when her father was laid off from the steel plant. Her mother, once full of life and laughter, now worked double shifts at a bakery, her hands cracked and raw from kneading dough for 10 hours straight. Every night Alina watched her parents argue in whispers, trying not to wake her. Every day she walked to school praying nobody would notice her, that she could get through just one day without being laughed at or called names. But prayers don't stop cruelty. Riley, Brielle, and Sasha, the self-proclaimed queens of Ridgewood High, made sure of that. They had it all: money, beauty, followers, and the bitterness of girls who needed to break others just to feel strong. It started with whispers behind lockers, mocking her faded jeans and homemade lunches. Then came the Snapchat stories where they'd sneak pictures of her reading alone and caption them with cruel jokes. Alina ignored it, or tried to. But that morning broke something inside her. She was walking to the main doors, her gloved hands red with cold, when the girls stepped in her path. "Oh my God," Brielle laughed, blocking her way. "That coat looks like it came from a trash bag." "Seriously?" Sasha chimed in. "You look like a lost orphan. Is this the charity case runway?" Alina kept her head down, hoping they'd get bored. But Riley wasn't done. With a grin as sharp as a blade, she reached out and yanked at Alina's coat. "Let's do everyone a favor and burn this thing." Before Alina could react, the 3 girls pulled at the sleeves, laughing. One sharp tug, and the buttons popped. Her coat slid off into the slush, leaving her in nothing but a thin sweater and jeans in sub-zero weather. The shock stole her breath. The cold hit like a slap. For a second, everything was still. Then Alina moved. Fast. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She snapped. Alina charged forward, her shoulder colliding with Riley's chest hard enough to knock her backward. The girl slipped in the snow and landed flat with a shriek. Brielle and Sasha froze, stunned. "You think hurting someone makes you powerful?" Alina's voice shook, but not from fear. "You think tearing me down builds you up? I have nothing, and I still have more strength than all 3 of you combined." She wasn't screaming. She was done. "This coat, it's my mother's. She gave it to me because she couldn't afford a new one. That lunch you laugh at, I make it myself because I don't want her skipping meals. You wear designer brands and still look ugly because your soul is rotting from the inside out." Someone gasped behind them. Phones were out. Students had gathered, silent, shocked, watching. "You don't get to touch me. Ever again." Sasha reached for her phone, as if clinging to some sense of control. "She's crazy." "No, I'm awake now," Alina said. "And so is everyone else. Go ahead. Post this. Let them see the bullies you really are." Riley scrambled to her feet, red-faced and sputtering, but the crowd didn't laugh with her this time. They just watched, some in quiet awe, others in shame. A teacher finally arrived demanding explanations, but by then it didn't matter. The video went viral before first period ended. The school launched an investigation. The girls were suspended, their parents forced to face the mess they'd ignored for years. Alina, for the first time, was asked to speak at a school assembly. She stood on stage in a borrowed blazer, her back straight and her hands steady. "I used to think strength was staying quiet," she said, "but silence only feeds the wolves. Sometimes the only way to stop cruelty is to face it, even when your voice shakes." The room was quiet. Even the teachers were moved. Her speech traveled far beyond the school. It reached local news, then online platforms, and soon people from all over sent messages of support. Some shared their own stories, others offered help. A local nonprofit gifted her family winter clothes. A small publisher asked if she'd write a book. Alina didn't become a celebrity. She didn't care to. But she became seen, and that was more powerful than any fame. Winter still came every year. The cold didn't go away. But Alina was never without a coat again, not just the one on her shoulders, but the invisible armor she built from every battle, every scar, and every word she spoke aloud when it mattered most. Her story wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming her voice and letting the world know you can be frozen, broken, stripped bare, but still rise louder, stronger, unstoppable. Because sometimes all it takes is one moment to shatter silence forever.